Lewiston-Auburn College has had in its 22 years. We're very welcoming to you all as candidates and to those of you in the audience. This event is co-sponsored by our class of Media and Politics, the Office of Community Service, and the Student Government Association. A number of students in the audience are part of one or the other, and some of the students are parts of all three of those groups. Lewiston-Auburn College has had a long history of relationship with our state legislative delegation. This college would not be here if the legislative delegation in the late 1980s did not insist that there should be a public baccalaureate degree granting institution in the Lewiston-Auburn area. So, and we have tried to maintain very cordial relationships with our legislative delegation. They've supported us over the years. This room, for example, is a result of the efforts of the legislative delegation 10 years ago in terms of getting state appropriations for this building. We are holding this and to give the opportunity for candidates to talk to students and community members about some of the major issues that the state is facing. And the way we're going to structure the event is that we're going to give each of the candidates up to 3 minutes to introduce themselves and talk about what district you represent and what towns or parts of towns might be in your district. And then talk a little bit about why you're running for office, some of the major challenges you see that the state is facing, and if you have any time left, to talk about some of the issues that particularly face higher education in the state of Maine in the coming years in terms of accessibility for citizens of Maine, funding challenges, and perhaps the structure that higher education may be looking at. And so we'll give you 3 minutes. Richard Wood is our timekeeper, and at 1 minute he will give you a signal. At 30 seconds he'll give you a signal, and then you'll see the red card asking you to please stop. So we're going to go through and have everybody have the opportunity to present their views. And then after that, we're going to take questions from the audience. And we have some cards that some of you have already had the opportunity to take. And please write the question that you'd like, and they will go to our questioners, moderators, Candy Wood and Jonathan Warder, both who are officers of our Student Government Association. And they will sort out the questions and try to combine them if there are several questions on the same topic. And we'll ask each candidate to who wants to answer the question, to take about 2 minutes answering those questions. Some of the questions may be directed to a specific candidate, and other candidates may enter into the discussion. I also will apologize. You're going to see people coming into the room. Some of our classes are getting out at 7 o'clock, some are at 7:30, and other students will be coming into the room. So please take that into account. That would be offended if they're only coming for part of the presentation. So because I think you're seated randomly at the table, let's start with Mr. Rice from 96 and go down. I hope so.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this. I'm Larry Saroy. I represent District 96, which includes Turner, Hebron, and Minot. I've been up there for 4 years in Chester, and hopefully I'll be here for at least 2 more. I stress constituent service. Work very hard to, first of all, I think I'm probably the only person in Augusta that visits every house in my district every year. And that's about 3,800 houses. As you can imagine, it takes quite a bit of time. And even expense on my part. I have a truck and it doesn't get that good a gas mileage, so I use up a lot of gas money too. I've had perfect attendance up there 3 out of 4 years. I had surgery. I vote Democrat when I don't, but I also vote the bill. And I have voted with the Republicans several times. So, and I think we also do that. I'm not up there to build up a party. I'm there to try to do the best job we can for I'm on the tax committee, and I definitely believe that we should lower our income tax, because it's the 7th highest in the country, and it hurts not only individuals in Maine, but it hurts our small business, because most small businesses file under personal income tax. And what makes it, our top rate's 8.5%, and what makes it even worse is you don't have to earn a lot to get the top rate. So it's really hurting our constituents and businesses. And from day one, I've always wanted to get more taxes from tourists. We're a tourist state, and we do very little to get tourist dollars in taxes. We're the lowest, I believe, in New England on lodging and meals. We're, I think, probably the only state on the East Coast that doesn't charge any taxes for mooring fees. When these sailboats and big yachts come into the Maine harbors, they don't pay a cent to the state of Maine. So there's many ways we can get tourist dollars over Vermont. And I'd rather get a little more from tourists and a little less from Maine citizens to help them. And I believe now the Maine State Chamber of Commerce is behind us on that too, because they just put out a study. Well, they just put out a study with 12 goals for Maine, and when it came to taxes, that's what they said: lower the income tax, expand the sales tax. As far as education, there's no question we need more funding. But there's a lot of other things. I think we can get businesses to help. I think we need more coordination between the community colleges and the university. Should be able to swap courses no matter where you're going. And I guess I'm done.
That's the only thing I ever remember him sharing with me. And I don't remember him voting with the Republicans at all. But I'm crazy about the guy. I love him. Good fellow. My name is Mike Boyer, and I represent District 68 in Auburn. It's a great district that includes a lot of wonderful people. I've met them, almost all of them, I would imagine, over the 3 years that I've run. I have 99 houses left to do this year, and I'm looking forward to the summation of that particular task. It's been a pretty challenging exercise. In any event, I lived in Lewiston for quite some time. I taught in Lewiston schools for 40 years. And I married my high school sweetheart. She's sitting over here. She remains my sweetheart after all these years, and we'll celebrate in January our 45th anniversary. I wanted to say that last night when I was at another gathering, and I didn't have the opportunity, but I'm glad I did tonight. I serve on the Legal and Veterans Affairs Committee and the Judiciary Committees, two committees which really are a delightful experience for me, because they run analogous to the kinds of things that I taught in high school, and I enjoy everything that they do, all of the issues, all of the concerns, all of the people. I mean, I just enjoy discussing the issues and looking over the kinds of things that come before us. They're extraordinarily interesting and very challenging. I mean, last year we had a casino issue that is not over yet. We also had the litigant services bill in the judiciary, a relatively heavy-duty bill. Prior to that, in my first term, I served on the BRED Committee, Business Research and Economic Development, and I like that too. So I've enjoyed my experience there, and I hope to go back. Likewise, I have not missed a day in Augusta. I shouldn't say that I missed one day, but I was forced to go by the BRED Committee. We went to Portland for a gathering for a small business administration meeting, and it was the only roll call that I missed, and I felt very badly about that. But certainly, if you wanted to check my roll call votes and find out exactly how I've done, you could go into the state website, look that over, and make a determination as to whether or not you think I was far to the right, more nearly to the middle, or way off to the left with my friend, Mr. Soroy here, who likes to drag me there on occasion. All right. Basically, I think education is an incredibly important thing. I mean, I taught for 40 years. Obviously, I see the value of that. I very much support the early college program and the transition program that's in place. I'd like to see the rural areas put that into effect, but I'm not sure it's going to be easy for them. I was talking to a superintendent just recently who said help me out. And I'll tell you how we're going to do that eventually if someone asks me a question later on. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Scott. I'm the candidate for House District 70, which includes part of Marvin and also part of Lewiston. I've lived in Maine my whole life, and I'm currently living in Auburn. I'm a married father with two daughters, ages 5 and 9. I've been involved in public service as a firefighter and currently employed as a lieutenant in the Auburn Fire Department. I haven't really been involved in politics. I haven't really cared about politics for my whole life. About 8 years ago, I started caring a little bit more about politics and started getting more involved because of being a firefighter and spending some time in Augusta. And now at this point, I'm interested in running for office. And I'm running because of my two daughters. I'm looking at Maine and looking at the future, and I want to make sure that there is a future in Maine for my two daughters to grow up, get a good education here in the state of Maine, and have the opportunity to be employed here in the state of Maine. I believe in keeping an open mind and working with common sense. I want to hear both issues. Well, last night we had a little candidate forum with some yes and no questions. And for me, it's more than just a yes and no answer. It's listening to both sides and figuring out what is right for the state of Maine. Education is a top priority. My wife's a physical education teacher. She works in Leeds. And I listened to her talk about how education is working and how a lot of things can be changed. So for me, higher education is also important. I didn't attain my associate's degree in automotive technology here in the state of Maine because I didn't like the regular structured college system. I ended up going out to Wyoming Technical Institute. It was a 6-month program, 8 hours a day. It was more like a job. We had a structured uniform that we wore, went into work at 8 o'clock and had a lunch break, got out at 5 o'clock. And that suited me a lot better. After 9 months, I had an associate's degree, knew how to run a repair shop. And just sitting down for math classes was not my cup of tea. I had enough with 4 years of high school with that. So for me, the issues facing higher education is making sure that the curriculum is up to date and is suiting the needs of today and tomorrow. The other issue is increasing the percentage of working adults that have a degree or a certificate in a higher education class. And some of the ways I would propose to looking at doing that, one would be maybe looking at doing something new with the college system and creating something like Wyoming Tech, where you can go there with a trade type degree and hurry up and be able to get fast track and get out of the college system and get employed. Some of the other options is looking at doing some type of scholarship program for low-income families, creating some type of tax incentive for businesses that send their employees off to get an education, and also a tax incentive possibly for students that get an education here in the state of Maine and stay employed in the state of Maine. Thank you.
My name is Stacy Dostey, and I represent District 75, which is Madison Green. And I'm running because I think it's important to not just talk about change, but to be a part of change. And so I am on the Utilities and Energy Committee, and that's an important area, as we all know right now. We're talking about many different issues for the state. And I am a small business owner and a mother of 2. And the issues for me in higher education would be funding, of course. We all know that's a huge issue. And getting enrollment up. As we all know, the community college, their enrollment is up, but the enrollment is not up as high at the universities. And we don't know how to fix that, but that would be, Mike has some good ideas, helping businesses to send their people to the university would be good. And I think that's it. Short and sweet tonight.
I'm State Senator John Nutting from Leeds. I represent Senate District 17 in the Maine Senate. I've served 9 terms so far, not consecutively,